Back again with another interesting facts, this time about the state of Virginia. The state of Virginia used to be a lot bigger. At the time of the Revolutionary War, Virginia encompassed parts of what is now Kentucky and West Virginia. Kentucky became its own state in 1792, and West Virginia seceded from the rest of Virginia rather than join the Confederacy. Virginia also originally ceded some land to form Washington, D.C. However, that 31 square mile plot of land, now Arlington County, was given back to the state in the 1840s, in part because of Alexandria was a major slave market, and some of its residents feared that slavery would be outlawed in the capital, as it was in 1850. In its early years, Virginia was a colony of servants. According to the Virginia Historical Society, 3/4 of the English immigrants to Virginia in the 1600s were indentured servants at some point. About half of those indentured servants died before their 7 years of servitude was up, but some did become relatively prosperous after gaining their freedom. However, by the 17th century, indentured servitude was severely and largely replaced by slavery, which was permanent and hereditary. As the country's largest slave-holding state, it was the hotbed for anti-slavery rebellions. In 1831, Nat Turner led a band of more than 50 rebels in the largest slave uprising in American history. Decades later, in 1859, abolitionist John Brown raised Harper's Ferry, hoping that slaves would join his group in their uprising, though none did. The raid inflamed tensions between the North and South, helping spark the Civil War. It has its own English dialect. Residents of Tangier Island, an island in the Chesapeake Bay area where British colonists settled starting in the 1680s, speak in a very particular way due to the small island's isolation. Islanders sound a lot more like Brits than Americans, and their speech includes variants of the words that can be traced back to colonial English, like spargrass for asparagus. The dialect speakers use backwards talk, which is a lot like extreme sarcasm. For example, some might say, "You're too soon," to mean you're late. Other expressions include, "Got the mibs," which means you stink. It has independent cities, which are not controlled by any county. Fairfax, the city, is not controlled by Fairfax, the county, for instance. Virginia is the only state that employs this system on a large scale. Out of more than 40 independent cities in the U.S., only 3 are not located in Virginia. Baltimore, St. Louis, and Carson City, Nevada are also independent cities. Yes, Williamsburg, Virginia is home of a world-famous historic district. It is also the location of the all-important Presidential Pet Museum. There you can learn about George Washington's beloved horse, Nelson, James Buchanan's herd of elephants, and Calvin Coolidge's lion cubs. It played a huge role in the Civil War. Virginia was a home to the Confederate capital, Richmond, and adjacent to Washington, D.C., making it an important target for Union forces. Over the course of the war, 26 major battles and 2,000 total military engagements took place in the state.